Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh to Puan Aida Afina. We are from Group 1 AAP 1194G. We present for Assignment 2 Bidding Condition Survey Report for BSR255 Bidding Surveying Practice 2 with our case study Pusat Islam UiTM Seri Iskandar.
First of all, let me introduce my group members. Consists of Muhammad Azim, Abdul Muhiz, Iskandar Hakim, Muhammad Emir Radzin, Muhammad Farid, and the last one is Muhammad Aiman. Without further ado, let me start our presentation with introduction to our case study. Our case study is Pusat Islam Seri Iskandar, located in University Technology Mahara Seri Iskandar, Perak branch. The owner of the building is University Technology Mahara itself. Pusat Islam is a building that serves as a place of worship for the Muslim community to perform prayers and various activities, including any religious exam and program ilmiah held in the hall located on the lower ground floor. The building has 3 floors, namely the underground floor, ground floor, and first floor, and further divided into 5 zones, namely the main entrance, prayer room, open hall, office, and a toilet. The building was built in 2006 with a lot of renovation works having taken place by the year in line with the increasing numbers of students. In 2012, the renovation work made at Pusat Islam, namely the construction of an examination hall under the prayer area. In this part, I will present the inspections information which include the term of reference and limitation of the inspection. This study is conducted to make an assessment of the internal and external building condition, prepare a measure drawing, identify each building elements, and identify the types of defects, possible causes, and analysis of the building defect. We conduct the inspection on 23rd June with the weather condition is rainy, while on 2nd July 2022 is sunny day. We have 4 limitations, which are the foundations, which are unreachable, the roof is inaccessible, and the women's toilet and a cleaners room, which are considered as a private space since we are a group of all male.
The method of inspection that we use to conduct the building condition assessment is non-destructive tools. So here are 8 tools that we use for this inspection, which are multimeter, 7.5 meter measuring tape, laser distance, hygrometer, 30 meter measuring tape, digital caliper, 4-in-1 meter for humidity, temperature, air velocity, and light, and lastly the digital angle meter.
Of our case study as shown in this slide is the table for condition survey report in building condition rating system format, which known as BARIS, which has been compacted in one schedule based on the defect sheet. As we can see, the external condition with the total of 20 out of 36 defect, with only 5 yellow metric color, and the others are categorized in good condition, which is green. The defect recorded are the major crack on the column and concrete apron due to ground settlement, peeling of paint due to chemical reaction by acidic rain and rust, and corrode on the steel handrail caused by oxidation when iron exposed to water and oxygen. Other than that, there is leaky water tap due to human activities. Next, for the internal area, the inspection is conducted by layer, which are the ground floor level, upper ground floor, and lower ground floor. For upper ground floor, the condition is fair. Only 5 defects were recorded, include dampness on the wall, fine crack on column plaster, unfunctional 1 unit of ceiling, unfunctional 1 unit of wall lamp, and last, sagging ceiling panel. For the upper floor level, we record 4 defects with 2 defect causes by nature, which are detached louvre caused by strong wind and corrosion on the steel, gutter due to aging and exposed to rain and heat. The other 2 defects are vertical fine crack in the office due to shrinkage between different concrete grade, and last one is unconnected downpipe due to missing or irresponsible worker. The last level of lower ground floor, which consists of 6 defects. The 5 defects caused by human activity, which are chipped tiles on staircase, crack on window glass, broken door lift, broken switch, stain mark and rust at the door jamb, and lastly stain mark on the toilet tiles. The other one is spilling of paint, which possible causes the high moisture in the air.
In this part, I will present the defect analysis, which consists of percentage of defect, type of element and matrix analysis. For percentage of defect, they are divided in 13 main sort of flaws, which are namely crack, broken, dampness, peeling of paint, corrosion, rusted, leaking, stain mark, mold growth, chip tile, color faded, missing part, and lastly sagging. Crack and broken have the largest percentage of defects at 14 cracks with 36%, and 5 broken element or components with 13% of the overall percentage of defect recorded, followed by dampness and peeling of paint with 18% each. The corrosion, rusted, leaking, stain mark, and mold growth record 2 cases with each 2%, and lastly chip tile, color faded, missing component, and sagging only consists of 1 case of each defect. Next, for the type of element or component with a proportion of 25%, the wall element had the highest percentage of defects. Both internal and external wall exhibit flaws that have been identified as hairline cracks, moisture, faded color, and poor paint quality. The second highest element found is apron with a proportion of 14%, followed by column with the percentage of 11%, and other elements such as drain, handrail, door, lamp, and gutter with the same percentage that are 6% of each element. And with a rate of 3%, the elements of the staircase, window, and ceiling fan had the lowest percentage of flaws. Each of these is not a serious flaw and only occasionally occurs in the structure. Lastly is the matrix analysis. Matrix analysis is being used to classify these defects. There are 3 different sorts of matrix colors: green, yellow, and red. The first 4 matrix numbers will be green and require planned maintenance. The 5th through 12th matrix will be yellow and require condition monitoring. Finally, the number 13 to 20 in the matrix will be red and require immediate attention. With regard to this building, the green color has the highest percentage of matrix at 56%. This demonstrates that the building is in good shape, but the owner must still set a schedule of maintenance in order to preserve the structure and keep it in good shape for a long time.
For the recommendation, we only classify 4 major defects and divide them into 3 elements that need more attention, because most defects are detected in this element, which consists of column, wall, and steel handrail. The other defects are simply repair, replace with the same spec of the old components, or need cleaning service. So, the first is column with the problem of diagonal cracks. For this defect, we recommend that the owner must hire specific soil investigator or inspect the soil condition. This must be done to determine the bearing capacity of the soil, its settlement rate, and the position of the water table. By analyzing the result of this investigation, optimal solution in terms of the type of foundation of the planned structure as well as the possible type of soil improvement can be obtained. Next is wall with defect of mold growth, peeling of paint, dampness on wall plaster, and color faded due to the walls being relatively exposed to hot and humid climates. Installing an awning around the opening area will protect against sunlight and rain that will splash into the house while helping a shadier. For the exterior wall, it is the best to apply high quality of paint that have moisture resistant, antibacterial and antifungal paint as well resistant to extreme weather for exterior wall to sustain resistance for long-term uses. Lastly is rust on the steel handrail. So for the remedial action, We suggest to sand off as much of the rust as possible using steel wool, a wire brush, sanding sponges, or even a small powder sander. Prime and paint the affected area of your railing with better quality of oil-based rust-inhibiting primer. After that, the primer dries, apply a spray on enamel paint to the railing, adding as many coats as necessary.
In this part, I will present the costing of defects. The estimated costing for remedial action were performed were based on jadual kadar kerja kejuruteraan awam dan bangunan edisi tahun 2021 and jadual kadar kerja elektrik edisi tahun 2021. By refer to jadual kadar kerja, we found that there are two additional costs that need to be added for each defect cost calculation, which is additional cost to location. Since the JKR Perak Tengah is not exceed 15 km from Pusat Islam and have access road, thus it only need to add 12% of the total price based on JKH. Other than that, if the total cost of each defect are not exceeding 500 ringgit, then the price must be added with 5% of the total after adding the additional cost of the previous 12%. For costing, we have selected 9 external defects and 11 internal defects. Thus, the sum of external defect is 234 ringgit 49 sen, while the internal we calculate the sum of costing is 944 ringgit and 31 cents. As shown in this slide is the table summary of costing for all 20 defects. The total cost of is 1,178 ringgit and 30 cents with all number of defect sheets, element, description, and amount cost of each defect is shown in the table.
For the conclusion, Pusat Islam Seri Iskandar has a quite list of potential risk areas that will require further monitoring and ongoing maintenance to prevent possible future failure. This building is generally in excellent visual condition for its age. However, there are several maintenance items mentioned in this report that will benefit from some situation. When studying the several aspects of the building defect and its related solution, the building needs more care and repair, and it might increase initial cost of repair. It depends upon the owner to decide what type of technique used to make structure durable. In preparing this report, we were using CPBS 101 third edition as our main references and also jadual kadar kerja kejuruteraan awam dan bangunan edisi tahun 2021 and jadual kadar kerja elektrik edisi tahun 2021. We believe that this report and its appendix along with its comments and recommendations meet the requirements of this assignment and provide the owner with sufficient information to develop its plan.